almost nobody is looking closer to home, trying to figure out how we arrived at a place where separation of church and state is a rough, if deeply contested, reality, and deep and widespread religious commitments are flourishing. How, for heaven's sakes, did that happen? We need to understand not just the legal theory and doctrine, but the history and current dimensions of religious life in America to figure that out. At the places where law and religion have met or conflicted, and there are plenty of them, we can see how this world has been constructed. It is a much needed form of historical and religious study. Equally important, I would argue, Justice Brennan's capacious vision of the religion clauses of the Constitution, which included both rigorous enforcement of the Establishment Clause, see Schempp, and the Free Exercise Clause, see Schempp, has now been decimated, shredded by his fellow justices. Neither clause has the effect that Brennan envisioned in 1963. Both have been pulled back sharply. We can talk more about that if you're interested later. So the Schempp case and its long and learned concurrence have become artifacts, primary sources for the study of legal history, especially, I would say, for the evolution of religious studies, and sometimes overcredited as the source of that development. The Constitution now occupies a smaller, more cramped bandwidth than when Brennan called for scholarship in religion as an aid to education and to adjudication. And yet, religious life has flourished in the same period, filling more rather than less space. And religion scholars have noticed, giving us fantastically accessible and yet deeply nuanced treatments. Religious studies has the potential to help us rethink the constitutional law of religion in America, if only scholars in the field would expand their gaze to include the ways that government and religion interact in our constitutional order. If we can generate that kind of interest, Schempp and Brennan's concurrence would truly have contemporary relevance and be worth celebrating in another 50 years.